and thank you for joining me on the show today. This is the Now Talks, a collection of inspiring personal stories and leadership lessons from some of the world's most iconic leaders. It is the weekly podcast for women in leadership, brought to you by Nations of Women. My name is Dr. Tina Allton, and I'm your host for today and the coming weeks. I don't know about you, but it feels like the year is kind of finally running so fast. After January, that felt like it was so long. And now in February, and I think February is gaining momentum and moving equally at a fast pace. So this week, I had been speaking to a couple of friends. I had the opportunity to spend some time with my mentor. And that always leaves you really invigorated, activated, poised, ready for action, you name it. And one of the conversations that came up actually has been the reason why, or the backbone for this week's podcast. And so I just want to share some thoughts with us that hopefully, as we are coming into the middle of the first quarter of the year, and many of you, I'm sure, would have, set goals that you've been working hard. Some have fallen by the wayside, and some are actually, you're kind of like you're breaking limits and really, really making strides as far as your goals for this year is concerned. Now, if you're not doing so well with your goals or whatever it is, hold tight because there is help for you. And so I want to talk to us this week, just a few thoughts that I think would be good to help us along the way as far as our goals is concerned. And all the exciting things we've got here in Nations of Women. We've got the business school for women, helping women to get their businesses started in 90 days, 90 days. If you think of your business as a seed that goes in the ground, it will take roots. The seed will take root by 90 days. So that's what we want to do with you, is to help you get your business up and running in 90 days. Now, if you're really looking at your leadership journey from, I don't know how long you've been in leadership for, but for however long, maybe 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 100 years even. Um, I don't know who's been in leadership for 100 years, because you're gonna have to be, I don't know, 120, 130 years, but you just don't know, do you? We do have people that old. So no matter how long you've been in leadership for, I think one thing is very, very key. One thing is true, that it takes, you have to be proactive in your leadership. Proactive, where you're not afraid to take responsibility for your life, for the choices that you make. I think there's a quote that goes something like, your life, is the quality of your decisions determine the quality of your life, and the choices that you make, as far as decisions is concerned, also determines the course of your life. And so as leader, you can't really separate being a leader and being a human being, apart from each other. You're a human being and you're a leader as well. So this thought, or this idea of proactivity, or proactiveness, is required both as a leader as well as being a human being. And so I don't know, but I think it's important to go back to your goals. Look at what are the goals that you set for yourself. Are you being proactive towards those goals? What responsibility are you taking? Or what responsibilities do you have now in this new year as a leader? Right? And proactiveness also, sometimes I think I've seen the other side of it, where people actually just react to things and call it being proactive. But the truth is, when you're reacting to situations or circumstances, that's not entirely being proactive. Right? Proactive requires that you think through something, Generally, when you're being proactive, you've thought about something, you have an idea, you have some insight or foresight. But where all of those ingredients are missing, no insight, no foresight, no thoughts, that is really just a reaction. So, as far as achieving your goals in this year, it's going to require you to be proactive. It's going to require you to sit down, to think through, to gain some insight, maybe to learn something, maybe to reach out to. I don't know what it is you require, but remember that you're not going to achieve your goals if you are only reacting to the situations and circumstances that you find yourself. Because the truth is, we're not all in control. We're not in control of, every situation or every circumstance because the world is big and there are other people in this life, in this journey. So things will come that'll be out of your control. But how you respond to it, how you respond to it really is what would make or break. So, as a leader, this month or this week, even think about situations or circumstances where you were simply reacting rather than being proactive. And see what was the difference when you were reacting? What's the difference as far as results, as far as your ability to make good quality decisions? And then also think about when you're being proactive. What did that also look like? I think with your goals as well, it's very important to not forget that, you always have to think about, okay, what is the end result that I want, right? What's the end result that I want? What am I looking for at the end of the day? And then you're able to work towards that. I think this is quite true when it comes to aviation. Right. When we get, you want to travel, I don't know, let's say to Los Angeles or I don't know, let's say Florida, I don't know, or New York, wherever it is you want to travel to. Right. When you buy your flight, what do? You start, you put in the end results, the end place you want to be. Right, all through the airport on their screens. They're going to be showing you your final destination. They're not showing you where you're at now, right? So you always have to think about, where is it that I want to get to, right? That is constantly on your radar. Like you see at the airport, your destination is always what you're seeing, from what gate you're going to go through, to what terminal you need to get to a check-in desk, to everything, right, is all about the destination. It's all about the end. So what is the end results that you're looking for? And then set your vision to that, get the values that requires you to be able to achieve the end results that you're looking for, right? And I think that this is very important as leaders as well. When it comes to our goals, whether it's your business goals, the team goals, or your personal goals, you've always got to think win-win. And I learned this, when I was doing leadership training, back in 2022 or 2023? I can't remember. Um, and it was quite profound. It actually stuck with me. And that is the idea of win-win, making sure that whatever you're doing, whether it's in a partnership or collaboration or working as a team, that you're always thinking, how can we both win? I think for too long, people or businesses or other leaders have been, what's in it for me? But you can't really just be a leader that is constantly focused or thinking about what's in it for you. Those days are gone. Those days don't bring growth. That is a limited mindset. And really, truly, bluntly, a poverty mindset is what would make you think, oh, I've got to get it all. But when you work with an abundance mindset, you'd always be looking at a win-win. How can this be a win for the other person as well as for me? And even in your relationships, is exactly the same thing, whether you're married or it's like when your husband wins, you win. When your wife wins, you win, right? Everybody wins when we win. So you've got to think, you got to always have that mindset of win-win. How can what I'm doing or the person that I'm working with, collaborating with, wanting to partner with, how can this equally benefit them, right? so that that erases the idea of competing and trying to be better than somebody else, and all of those things is you've always got to think win win. And I think you can't really we can't really talk about this, yeah, our goals and how we're going to achieve our goals without really looking at priority. Priority is very, very important. How we prioritize our lives, how we prioritize our thoughts, how we prioritize the way we even start our day makes a big, big difference. And so you've always got to think about, how am I setting myself up for success? Right, putting first things first. What is important? And I think if you take a piece of paper and draw a cross on it, one line from top to bottom, one line from left to right, and then what is important and urgent, unimportant, not urgent, and you categorize your goals, or what it is, your task, if you want to put it that way, right, into what is important and what is urgent, and you focus on the things that are really, really important and really urgent. I think oftentimes it's very easy to actually move towards the things that are not important or not urgent, because sometimes they're the easiest to do, right? And but the danger is if you're pulling towards what is easy to do, what is not urgent, what is not important, guess what's going to happen? All the things that are important will be left undone, and then you're going to be rushing, and then it's not going to be done with your very best, where maybe you may be tired. So think about prioritizing yourself, being able to prioritize yourself, your task, your goals, and the things you've got to do is very, very important. And it helps you to really just do away with the drama and just the little, the mundane things, right? Not very important. The other thought I want to leave us is that you've got to be looking at how can you be at your best. And that is you've got to have a mindset that seeks to improve, that seeks to be at your best. You've got to invest in yourself, in your goal, in just your development and your growth. Right. If you think, but I think I can't remember where I had a story, but it was about, two people that had to cut some wood for 8 hours, and one was like cut, and taking rest in between. And the other was just constantly, but not doing as much. And, thought, why are you resting? And the other, I think it was on Instagram. I can't remember where I saw the video, but you've got to be willing to learn to grow, because if you're not growing like an axe, you're going to get blunt, and you're not going to be able to cut things easily with a blunt axe, is it really? Every axe, it needs to be sharpened. And so sharpening your axe means that you're growing yourself. And that may well be a mentorship. You can not lead or be a leader without a mentor, without being accountable to somebody. That is like the fastest road to catastrophe and disaster. It is critical. It is absolutely critical and imperative as a leader to have a mentor in your life. And that mentor helps you to grow, to see the areas that needs to be fine-tuned, and it helps you to be, accountable as well. And not only just a mentor, but invest in yourself as a leader. Because when you do that, it helps you in many ways. Think about your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual well-being. All of those things are maintained. It's like a car, right? Your car needs maintenance, or the plane needs maintenance every single time before the plane takes off. It is checked for what? Why is it checked? The pilot is, flown planes many, many times, but they always have to check in. It's the same thing. You always have to be in the right frame of mind, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so that you're balanced, so you can take good decisions and good actions, and you're gonna have a great quality of life, as well as those you're leading. You'll be able to lead in excellence at your very best. So I hope that this has been useful for you. And if you continue implementing these, obviously they become like habits because they're things we do constantly, become habits. They become part of us. So if there's one thing you're going to look at this week or this month, it is how to develop a mindset that is proactive, to help you improve your relationships. Think about win-win. Think about prioritizing what is important. Always think about what is it that I want in the end, the end in mind. And yeah, find a way to keep growing and staying sharp. Hopefully, we will come your way again next week. Until then, be effective, be fulfilled, and remember that you are the sum of the decisions that you make. So go make great decisions, make quality decisions this week, and let us know what has been your experience and what are some of the challenges that you've had along your own journey as a leader. Until then, take care. And that's all for this week. You've been listening to Dr. Tina Allton with the Now Talks, the weekly podcast for women in leadership, brought to you by Nations of Women. All that remains is for me to say have a fantastic week, stay safe, and reach out if you need any help now at nationsofwomen.com. Until next time, enjoy the pursuit of your potential, and remember, now is your time.